Providence continued to call young women and chose Benicia Vermeersch to begin a new chapter of the mission of Jesus in Houston, Texas.
You will go out to teach young children and poor children. There's a vast difference between a full stomach and an empty stomach in influencing the attitudes of children. Hunger does affect schoolwork and lessens the opportunity for children to resist even childhood diseases. And it has such bearing on shaping their destiny. Go out and work. Trust Providence. When I want something real bad, I go to my room at night, kneel down, raise my hands in prayer, and say, "Dear God, give this to me now." You always get it.
See the visible proof of God's goodness to you. You can see how providence governs all things. Provides for all things.
I didn't write a script because I didn't want to be limited by the paper. Because I really believe in the spontaneity that can come from the Spirit. But I did make a few notes here. One of the things that has always moved me is Sister Benicia's complete trust and abandonment to Providence at every step of her journey, because she started in Houston, but then she had to start over in San Antonio. So she never gave up. And she had a tremendous confidence in youth, in the young people, because her first catechists were students from her own school. So yo aprendí eso, que la Sister Benicia siempre tuvo confianza en la juventud, en las jóvenes, that they had the potential to be great catechists. They had the generosity. She could pull it out of them. She knew how to invite them. She knew how to give them confidence so that they would learn to love children like she did. They were almost children themselves, proclaiming the word with zeal, with enthusiasm, caring for the material needs and the spiritual needs of the people of her time, especially Hispanics, refugees, which we're seeing now again today. So we have come like full circle, that we have to be proclaiming through the love and through all that we do for others. Her simplicity, her love and loyalty for the society and the poor. She always loved her congregation. She never left her congregation. Nunca dejó ella su congregación para estar con nosotros. Siempre fue fiel a su congregación. And she was obedient. She was obedient to her community at every step of the way, even though when it was very difficult, and when even some of her own sisters didn't understand this project, and this new way, a new way that Providence was at work. So she always asked us to love our congregation, to pray for it, to work for it, and to speak well of each other. I think we're trying now as MCDPs to come to love one another better as sisters, to really try to understand what does it mean to be a sister to one another. Estamos tratando de comprender cómo podemos ser hermanas unas a las otras, en una manera más profunda. I'm going back and forth because I have to be bilingual. So being with the poor for us, they trust in Providence because they suffer daily. They have nobody else. We learn from the poor. We learn from their joyfulness in the midst of tremendous odds and tremendous suffering. They teach us. Los pobres nos enseñan a nosotros. So to be among the poor is a wonderful privilege. Es un privilegio tremendo estar entre los pobres. To be inspired by them, to walk along with them, and to suffer with them, which is part of our call. Benicia truly understood the meaning of the Paschal mystery in her life and the redemptive value of suffering that can make us and bring us, like has already been said, bring us to our knees. She went always to the Blessed Sacrament in silence and encouraged us to come and pray before the Blessed Sacrament, to be present among the people and allow them to do the leading. We walk beside them. Nosotros acompañamos a los pobres, pero no siempre nosotros somos las líderes. We can take different roles. Sometimes we're beside the other person, not always in front, not always in the limelight. Acompañando to uplift other people's gifts and their own commitment to Christ and His mission, to allow others to fulfill their baptismal call, especially women, and for us, especially our Hispanic people. We're growing so fast, and we are right now a very young population. 27 is our average age, as compared to 37 of the regular U.S. population. So right there we see that big need right now, especially to trust in our young people and in their gifts. To respond to God, of course, under the patronage of Our Lady of Guadalupe, and to read the signs of the times among us, so that we can be where we're needed, so that we can let go of so many things. We were not called to build schools or buildings. We have enjoyed them, and we have been taught here. We're always here. This is also our home. But we have been called more to build up the people, to build in them the same values of Christ, as all of us are doing. But to continue to find the good in other people, to rejoice in it, gozar en lo bueno que hayamos en otros, y amarles, to call them so they can let their light shine. Que la luz es para todos. La luz está en todos. La luz ilumina a todos. And especially this beautiful season when we're celebrating the coming of Christ, the light into our world. So it is wonderful that we can be here together. Estamos aquí juntas como hermanas. Es una cosa hermosa, es una bendición. We are blessed to be among all of you. And all of this energy of Benicia and all of her love and all of her leadership. In our last chapter, we ourselves made a directional statement that we're trying to live up to. And I'm just going to read it to you. In the spirit of Sister Benicia and in solidarity with the Sisters of Providence, we commit ourselves to deepen our relationship with Jesus. Rooted in Christ, we become a prophetic voice, authentic with one another, in order to witness the providence of God in the lives of all people, especially women, children, and the immigrant. We trust in God's grace to transform us as we journey with gratitude, hope, courage, and humility. Estamos aquí con mucha humildad, pero también muy agradecidas y llenas de gozo.
La providencia no tiene límites, no conoce barreras políticas. La providencia continuó llamándonos y Raquel Moreno respondió a la llamada de México. Pero se encontraron dificultades en el camino de la providencia.
Padre, yo le digo esto por el progreso de la comunidad. Yo estoy dispuesta a hacer lo que Dios quiere. Hermanas, tenemos 6 años juntas preparándonos para servir este pueblo mexicano. ¿A qué las llama la providencia? Respondan a esa llamada. Que vaya lo que vaya, que lo haga quien lo haga. La llamada de la providencia es lo que importa. Ni yo ni el Padre Moctezuma somos eternos. La llamada de la providencia es lo que importa.
¿Quién fue la madre Raquel? Fue una mujer emprendedora, valiente, arriesgada, abandonada a la divina providencia. No sabemos cómo lo hizo para conseguir permiso, en primer lugar, para recibirnos aquí en San Antonio, quizás recibiendo críticas por aceptarnos. Después, seguir luchando para llevar a cabo su proyecto y conseguir el permiso para abrir la casa en Querétaro. No le daba miedo ni pena pedir lo que necesitaba para salir adelante con los gastos de la casa. Para nosotras fue como una madre, pues nos quiso, nos apoyó y enseñó, sobre todo a las que vivimos con ella, a ser responsables, a cuidar tanto lo material como lo espiritual.
unknown to me. But Providence called, and I answered that call. To what unknown territory is Providence calling you?
If I had known upon my arrival in Texas that Providence would call me to lead and to build, would I have come? How could I refuse that call? Are you listening to Providence calling you to lead and to build a new church? Poverty surrounded us in Houston, but Providence called us to serve the poor. Do you see and hear Providence calling you still? Take courage. Pray for vision and pray for grace. Providence will answer your call. Do you trust in Providence? I ask you, do you trust in Providence?
La llamada de la providencia en México nos amplió la visión. Como la madre San Andrés, también quisimos responder y ver con ojos nuevos al pobre en otro país. La llamada de la providencia nos invita a abrir nuestra visión nuevamente para responder a la misión de Jesús en el ministerio. ¿Cómo responderemos? Tendremos la valentía de nuestras madres San Andrés, de Florencia, de Benito.
Providencia,
With gratitude, we receive the inspiration and the example of our sisters who have gone before us. And we have time now, between now and lunch, for individual reflection or sharing with someone else regarding the amazing challenges that these sisters have left us today. May we all have open hearts.